How do we find the area of a rectangle?
Base times height.
Base times height.
That one.
So remember, area is how many little squares fit inside it, and it is base times height. How do we find the area of a? What is this shape?
That is a
Parallelogram.
Parallelogram. How do we find the area of a parallelogram?
Base times height.
Base times height. How do we find the area of, I guess, a square?
side to the fourth.
Side squared.
Side squared.
That's square. What does 4 times s tell us?
4s.
What does that tell us?
They're all the same.
Oh,
They have the same size.
it's equilateral.
It tells us the perimeter. 4 times s would tell us the perimeter. On a rectangle, 2 times the length plus 2 times the width equals the perimeter. But on a square, anyway, area side squared is basically base times height, but the base and height are both sides, same side, so it's side squared. Okay, how about a
Half times base times height.
triangle? 1/2 base times height, or
Base
well,
times height divided by 2.
base times height divided by 2. Okay, then what do we do after that? We did, what's this? Trapezoid. You guys remember trapezoid? So notice all of these are kind of the same. Base times height, base times height. This is basically base times height. Base times height divided by 2. Trapezoid.
Half times height times base plus base.
Kind
Base plus
of.
base divided by 2. The average of the bases times the height.
Right. Instead of base times height,
I was right, Jesse.
it's average of the bases. That's how you average bases times height.
I think mine was right too.
Yeah, it depended if you put parentheses or not.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, and if I plug this, if you plug this in the calculator, that would get it wrong because you need to average the base. You need to add the bases first, so that would get it right. Times the height. All right. Trapezoids, average of the base times the height, and then what's this?
That's a kite.
Kite. You guys remember the formula we had for a kite?
No, not at all.
It's pretty short.
Area equals 1/2 base times height.
Nope. It's triangle. Yeah. 1/2 diagonal times diagonal, or diagonal times diagonal divided by 2. For a kite. And what's this? Rhombus.
Equilateral.
A rhombus is also that,
Are you training us for a game?
or because a rhombus is a parallelogram, it's also base times height. But usually when they give us a rhombus, they always give us the diagonals instead, so this is like the one we have to use. But if they did give us base and height, we would do that. Okay, what came next?
Man.
I think it was
Octagon.
the regular polygons, yes. How do we find the area of a regular polygon? This was Wednesdays.
Apothum
I'm out.
times. Never mind.
Okay, 1/2 times the apothum times the perimeter. The perimeter is the distance around, that's the apothum. Divided by 2. That will do it. And then yesterday, so guys, all of these formulas, by the way, will be on the test. This represents a very large portion of the test. Should be like next Friday.
I don't have to say it.
Me picture.
Why do you think I wouldn't have to take the test?
Because you're not going to be here.
Bingo! You won $1 million.
Brian, you said that before. How can we believe you?
Exactly.
Well, because last week I couldn't go. that I couldn't go to the interview.
Something's gonna happen.
So they have to interview people or
Yeah, for alternative. It's Bruins Academy, not BHS.
no?
And then, so I went to the interview today. They said I'll get the results on Monday. And my dad said, if I get accepted or not, it doesn't matter. It's putting me to BHS anyway.
Okay.
Study for Spanish.
I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. So this is what we did yesterday. Now this is not an area formula right here, but we still need to know what's the circumference of a circle, or how do we find the circumference of a circle?
2 times pi times the radius.
2 times radius times pi, or
Circumference.
diameter times pi. Okay, and the area?
Radius squared.
Radius squared times pi. Okie dokie. Okay, we are doing a worksheet.
Yeah.
A little bit easy, maybe a little
Do
easier
we
than
need
one.
any of these formulas on this worksheet?
Just the first few.
I have high doubts, James, that you go over the
There's
wall.
only,
I'm a smooth criminal.
there's like parallelograms, triangles, and
And are you okay? Are you okay?
trapezoids.
Ginger Korean. It's a ginger Korean.
What?
It's a ginger Korean. Ginger Korean.
You get it, Brian. You say good luck.
What's an Irish actually sound like?
English is a little bit
This one's
longer.
I let him know.
Give me an Irish accent.
I can't. I had to on action.
Someone give me an Irish
I
accent.
can't do it on command.
Someone give me an Irish accent.
I'm Scottish Irish, but I don't.
I have to do an Irish accent on accident.
Someone give me an Irish accent.
I can't, right? I'm sorry.
I don't know. That's not lazy. No, that's country.
Why would that sound like that?
What's that?
Oh, that's not
You know,
that's
my
not
favorite.
British. Evelyn, what does it sound like?
Kitchen smoothie.
No, 3 times the
I didn't think about that one.
Oh, mate.
That's a good one.
Okay, a couple things on this worksheet are a little bit confusing. Number 3, what is that a picture of? We're talking about number 3.
It's a stair.
What do you think number 3 is a picture of?
We're gonna go rain.
A rant for people who will.
Okay, here's what makes this confusing. Those lines on the left and like left bottom are supposed to be dotted lines. Can you guys see if you look really close
Oh, yeah.
For which one?
on number 3?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And number 8 and number 9. Those lines, they look like they're solid if you're not looking carefully, but those are dotted lines. So what shape is number 3
A rhombus.
actually?
A rectangle.
A
Nope.
rhombus.
Nope.
A parallelogram.
Parallelogram. Okay, I drew it somewhere on this board. There it is. Okay. So, what was that, an 8? These are not part of the shape. Why did they draw these in here?
So you can find the height.
This just tells you the height. The height goes straight up and down, like you go from the top of the building straight to the ground. That's why they drew those in there. So that's the height, that's the base. How do you find the area parallelogram? Base times height. So it's like 8 times 5.7. 45.6, I think. And let's see, this is meters squared.
What's the triangle formula again?
I walk alone.
Okay, number 2, how do we find the area of that triangle?
Base times height. Divide by half.
Divide by 2, or times a half, yes. If you divide by half, it would actually be wrong. You have to either divide by 2 or multiply by half. So if 9 is the base on number 2, you could use 6.4 as the height. It's kind of like you're thinking of the triangle in another direction. Okay, let's look at number 5. What's number 5 a picture of?
A trapezoid.
Yes, it's a trapezoid. Let me see real quick here. This is is a 5, this is a 6, this is a 3. So how do we do trapezoids? Okay, it was I wrote it earlier. You guys might have written it down, but it's the average of the bases times the height. So the bases are 6 and 3. So we would do 6 plus 3 divided by 2 times the height. And that's it. All right. Number 10 has a curveball. It's also a trapezoid, but what's weird about it? Nobody sees it? Really? Huh? It has yards and feet. Different measurement types. So how are we going to fix number 10?
You convert it to
How would we convert 29, Carter? How would we convert 29.4 feet into yards? Divided by 3, yeah. Since the other two are yards, yeah, I would just change that into yards by divided by 3. Technically, you could change yards into feet by multiplying by 3. I wouldn't. I would change feet into yards by dividing by 3. There's a few of them like that on the back also.
Oh.
Okay. I think we talked about all the tricks. Yes, you do have to do 21 and 22. I want you guys to use your brain a little bit.
Can they be for bonus?
No, not for bonus, just for normal. You can kind of use the other problems on the worksheet to like help you figure something out for 21.
This is the base section.
Yeah.
Good, I got a piece.